It's been a long time since we've done this video. 10 cheap hot hatchbacks you can buy for under £10,000. Simple as that. Let's get straight into it. Get this video to 1,000 likes. I'll do the same video again at under 15,000 instead, because I think that might even be the new 10k since the last time I've done this video. Subscribe if you're new. Let's look at these hot hatches. I recently had the chance to drive the Abarth 595 comp thanks to my good friends at Motorland, and it really impressed me, but maybe not for the reason you'd expect. It was nothing to do with how it drove, instead it really stood out as a hot hatch with an obscene level of attention to detail compared to its competitors. There really aren't any hot hatches I can think of that have as many details thought about from an aesthetic standpoint, and definitely not within our 10k price range. To drive I found the steering a bit vague, but they were quick and fun to cruise around in, and actually commanded quite a bit of attention out on the roads. These come with a 1.4 litre turbocharged inline-4 engine that makes 180 brake horsepower, taking them to 60 in 6.6 seconds. Not bad for a super mini city car style hot hatch. They start at around the 6k mark, and 10k will get you a 2016 example with around 40,000 miles on the clock. Generally these have been decently reliable, but there have been complaints about the build quality in some cases. I also recently drove a mini Cooper S from the F56 generation, and I really enjoyed how go-karty it felt, but the formula of that S was set in stone long before, back with the R53 generation, the John Cooper Works GP spec, of which just 459 were sold into the UK market. Unlike the more certified modern GPs, this first gen was a kit on top of the JCW that was focused on being as track performance as possible. That meant no rear seats and bolstered Recaro race seats up front, a 40 kilograms more weight removal, and even making aircon and radio optional extras. Despite some modifications to increase performance, these still came with a 1.6 litre supercharged inline-4 engine, making 215 brake horsepower, taking them to 60 in 6.4 seconds, made possible by a freer flowing exhaust and intercooler, some new injectors, and a modified ECU. I could only find 2 available, and one disappeared while making this video. The remaining one was up for £9,000 though, with pretty high mileage. Clutches, oil leaks, coolant tank issues, and in worst instances, cylinder head cracking problems are known with that engine, though the R53 was broadly more reliable than its R56 replacement. The 3rd gen Ford Focus came with a far more modern looking ST example than its predecessor, and it came as both a hot hatch and estate, so of course we're focusing on the former in this video. Though it is of course quick, it's not supposed to be as aggressive as the RS. There is a good mix of comfort and performance with these. They do look pretty sick both outside and in, and came in the same ST1, 2 and 3 specs the previous generation got, depending on how much fake carbon fibre you want and how much luxury you fancy. That being said, it was still lighter than the previous generation by 30 kilograms, which isn't bad. You'll be getting yourself a typical hot hatch 2 litre turbocharged inline-4 engine that makes 246 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 6.3 seconds. These start at around the 5k mark, and double that will get you a 2016 model with around 80,000 miles on the clock. There are some known problems, most notably with the turbos and wiring looms, but coolant leaks are also known. In between the previous generation Focus ST and its RS equivalent was this, the Seat Leon Cupra R, the continuation of quite a well-loved badge, which was only available for a few years. And what this car was known for was having unreal grip in corners, despite not having a mechanical LSD. It didn't understeer much with its electrical equivalent. The only major complaint some owners have is the awkward stiffness, where they aren't quite as strong as cars like the RS, but are also less comfortable than cars like the Golf GTI equivalent. And then aesthetically it has a unique look over its competitors. I wouldn't say it's crazy aggressive looking, but it has its own charm to it, which further benefits from other bits of the VW parts bin, like the RS4's flat bottom steering wheel on the interior. It's another 2 litre turbocharged inline-4 engine that makes 261 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 6 seconds. These will run you around £6,500 at the bottom end, and £10,000 will get you a 2011 model with high mileage. Some of the issues known are typically VW, like the water pump and coil packs failing, though there are other issues with the wheel bearings wearing quickly and thermostat housing failing. In comparison to the Leon, the Renault Megane RS Cup is definitely more of a useful track car with a bit of daily ability. The Cup chassis pack in particular stiffened up the already tighter RS with slotted brake discs and LSD to help handling, and then of course the stiffer springs, dampers and ARBs. Add on the Cup specific 18-inch alloys and you had a pretty cool looking car that would be ideal for a trip to and from the Nürburgring. On a good set of tyres you could go all the way to the Nürburgring, be rowdy around the track and get back home. The Cup comes with a 2 litre turbocharged inline-4 block that makes 261 brake horsepower in some of the latest specs, taking it to 60 in 5.8 seconds, making this the joint quickest front-wheel drive car on this list. They're listed anywhere from around £6,000, and £10,000 will get you a 2011 model with around 90,000 miles on the clock. The engine is normally strong in these, but cam belts and water pumps being replaced on time is key. Gearboxes are also known to have noisy bearings, and flywheels can make clicking noises. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are, then do the like button and subscribe as well if you're new. As I said, 1,000 likes, we'll do the same video again at £15,000 instead. And let me know in the comments down below what your personal favourite type type of car is. Hot hatch, estate, I don't mind at all. Whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. Another car I recently had the chance to drive thanks to one of you lovely subscribers was this, the Peugeot 308 GTI, which for me was a real return to form for the brand that effectively created the world of hot hatches. This car feels like a true hot hatch. The steering feel gives you so much confidence, as does the Torsen LSD. Even when I had the chance to drive one in some atrocious conditions, it made me feel right at home. It's quick too, as it comes with a 1.6 litre turbocharged inline-4 engine that makes 268 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 5.8 seconds. It doesn't look crazy aggressive outside or in, but the way it drives massively makes up for that. You'll find them listed anywhere from around £6,000, and £10,000 get you a 2017 model that's done around 80,000 miles. Though it's a Prince engine, it's actually known to be more reliable, though engine hesitation has been noted by some owners as one main issue with them. Outside of that, these have actually been pretty good. I think the Vauxhall Astra GTC VXR, despite not being as iconic as the previous gen VXR, is actually better looking. The formula wasn't crazily dissimilar, just with a bit more tech to help with the handling, thanks to mechanical LSD and electronically controlled active suspension that helped to get the car some pretty complimentary reviews, despite the fact this car went pretty under the radar compared to the first gen. Some connoisseurs of the car contend that it might actually be one of the best performance cars Vauxhall have ever given us. These come with another 2 litre turbocharged inline-4 engine that makes 276 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 5.8 seconds, meaning this is the last front-wheel drive hot hatch in this video, and also one of the fastest front-wheel drive hot hatches ever on its release. These start at the 5k mark, and double that would get a 2014 model that's done around 70,000 miles. Clutches and gearboxes have had some issues on these, and there are some annoying reports of water ingress by some owners, but generally these have been quite good on reliability. The third gen Impreza WRX STI was definitely the most controversial, as the iconic car moved from being a saloon to a hatchback, in line with most of its competitors in the World Rally Championship. Though the rally car didn't see much success, the road car is slowly showing signs of being one of the better value for money hot hatches you can get into. And despite the change of shape, much of the rest of the formula was similar to the previous generations, with ProDrive being involved with the build and being responsible for tuning the 330S example that's a touch outside of our price range. Sadly, there was another example that we were supposed to get, the 380S, which would have been even more powerful in performance, but it had homologation issues and was scrapped. The STI gets a 2.5 litre turbocharged boxer 4 engine that makes 295 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 5 seconds, and though it sounds iconic, it's known for some common problems like ringland and head gasket failures, to add on some rust related problems in some cases. They'll run you around 8k at the bottom end, and 10 grand gets you a 2008 model with 90,000 miles on the clock. Again, thanks to the lovely guys at Motorland, I had a great opportunity to drive a Mark 7 VW Golf R, and I had a lovely time driving it. It sits somewhere between hot hatches and hyper hatches, more performant than the GTI, less performant than the RS3, and if you drive one at slower speeds, it can literally just feel like you're driving an everyday Golf. When you floor it, it is definitely a quick car though, and it handles reliably too. I wouldn't say it's as much fun from a handling perspective as cars like the 308 GTI I mentioned before, but it's definitely the objectively more performant car. As with half the cars on this list, the R comes with a 2 litre turbocharged inline-4 block, making 295 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 4.9 seconds, making it the joint quickest car on the list. £9,000 is the minimum that I could find these listed for, and £1,000 more than that will get you a 2015 example with 90,000 miles on the clock. Water pumps, rear main seals, the DSG and the Haldex system have all been known to have some issues amongst owners, but again, it's not typically an unreliable car. The BMW M135i has to be the best value for money hot hatch you can get into. It's a direct competitor to the VW Golf R in terms of performance, but it's prettier outside and in, and puts all of its power through its rear wheels, making it a bit more leery. That power is thanks to it getting the largest engine on the list, a 3 litre turbocharged inline-6 block that makes 315 brake horsepower, matching the Golf R to 60 in a time of 4.9 seconds. It's a 6-speed manual as standard, but you'd also get the 8-speed auto instead if you're that way inclined, and the only thing that maybe lets this car down is a reputation of being a boy racer car, but the same could be said for loads of the cars on this list, and it's a bad reason to write off a car that's actually known to have some lovely handling dynamics and a premium overall feel. £6,500 will get you into one of these, and 10k is enough to get you a 2013 model that's done around 90,000 miles. High pressure fuel pumps are known to fail in some instances, and electrical issues are also known, and watch out for carbon buildup in examples that never get to sing. So there we have it, 10 hot hatches for 10 grand updated. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do hit the like button and subscribe as well if you're new. Massive thanks to the patrons for their support, you as well for watching, and check out this video of me driving one of the hot hatches from this video.